Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Falvey. Welcome to Boating Roundtable. In this episode, we have representatives from Discover Battery to talk to us about lithium ion batteries, their history, and where lithium ion might fit into your boating plans. Joining us today from the Vancouver area, we have Matthew Campbell. Matthew, hello.
Hi there, Kevin. Thanks for having us today.
You're welcome. Matthew is Director of Digital Marketing. Joining him and joining us is Derek Pettengale. Derek, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
And you are Director of Product Management, as I understand it.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And leading the questioning today will be our Boating Lab Director, Randy Vance. Randy, these two gentlemen are ready for your questions about lithium ion batteries.
Frankly, I think that's one of the coolest new technologies coming along in the marine industry because of the lithium batteries' ability to store so much energy, to discharge it in such consistent power, and do it with so little weight in the boat. Talk about your history there first.
Sure. Well, thanks. We've been around as a company since 1949. The company began as a battery distributor in Lethbridge, Alberta, and in the mid 90s grew to become a manufacturer of batteries, not just a distributor. We actually have three manufacturing plants. We have one in China, one in Taiwan, and one in Korea. We really are a global manufacturer with distribution on all continents, with the exception probably of Antarctica. Our company is headquartered in Vancouver, British Columbia. Obviously, we're a bunch of Canadians. Probably the important thing for us to really get across is, we manufacture all of our own product, so we're at absolute control over our supply chain. So we don't rely on white labeled product that a lot of our competitors are doing today. We actually make them ourselves.
I've spent a lot of time working on electric propulsion. In fact, I hold the world speed record for the fastest electric boat in the Lake of the Ozarks shootout. It was 30 miles an hour, but that was just the boat we had. But propulsion isn't your main thing here. It's coming along, but you guys are into battery power storage for other applications. Let's talk about that.
Sure, be happy to. And really, we're talking about energy storage, so house loads on cruising yachts, sailboats, houseboats, that type of thing. Particularly where they're connected to an inverter, for example, carrying those kind of loads. That's where lithium blue is a drop-in replacement for lead acid deep cycle batteries, so it fits right in there.
So you've configured the battery to absolutely replace the footprint of a AGM or a wet cell battery.
Yeah, that's the particular lithium blue come in a couple sizes. One is a GC12 Golf Car 12 size, very common in energy storage application, or a G24 size, both footprints. Easily replace most deep cycle lead acid batteries out there, and fit in their configurations. They come 12, 24 volts, 36 volts. So that's a little bit different than your standard LEDs, but that makes things more interesting, more flexible for installation. So yeah, they're right in there. They're lighter weight than those lead acid batteries, which is one of the first advantages that lithium will have. They're about half the weight of a comparable lead acid, same volume, stays high. So they've got about half that weight. And additionally, they store about, or you can use about twice as much of the energy. So if you have a 100 amp rated lead battery and a 100 amp lithium battery, really the lithium has got double the accessible capacity, because you can take that full 100 amps to 100% depth of discharge. You're not doing that with lead. It's a 50% recommended max discharge on lead. So a number of differences there in terms of same size, same volume, higher energy density, lower weight.
Is there any special challenges in managing the power output of lithium batteries?
They require some special attention. Essentially, the kind of advantage is the lithium batteries, particularly ours, the lithium blue, has a high current BMS in it. So the electronics, lithium batteries have electronics inside them that help govern and manage the activity of that battery. And so that makes, in our case, high rate charging. That's one of the things consumers will notice very quickly is how fast your lithium battery just charges up really fast, lightning fast. We can be fully recharged in an hour if you have the right charging equipment on that. They also discharge just as quickly, so they can support very large and loads, and they do it very well with very consistent voltage, high voltage on that. So performance is interesting. Those things need to be considered when putting it in your boat. They're not particularly hard to install, the same tools, etc., same process, but understanding how to set up things for that, how to set the charging up. And that requires some expertise. And there's a few things you don't want to do in terms of system as well. So recommending a professional be involved and assist with that setup.
So even though you do have the same footprint of a AGM or a wet cell battery, you still aren't recommending a guy pull that out, put a new one, put in a lithium battery himself.
He would have to be an experienced person. Certainly could do the nuts and bolts. There's nothing there that's complicated on that. What we would recommend is somebody assist with the charging setup. So the charging setup for lithium is different than lead acid. Now you can use a lead acid charger, reuse the charger you have in there. We would, if they have a lithium profile, that's great. Just make the change over that. If not, the device can be customized. Change the bulk voltage, the absorption voltage on that to 13.8. No float charge is necessary. You can do that, but it's not necessary for lithium. Now, an expert installer would know how to do that. If you can't, if your charger, you're not going to upgrade the charger to lithium just yet. You can use a gel setting. So that's the closest parameters to lithium that are available with most lead acid chargers. So those kind of things, setting that up. Additionally, there's a few other things. A lithium battery shouldn't be used as a starting battery. So it wouldn't be combined, say using a combiner or used as a dual purpose type battery. And that's where the expertise comes in, knowing that and understanding that system, being able to set it up correctly and have it perform as to meet expectation.
Let's look at propulsion. Are you guys at all involved in marine propulsion?
Yeah, certainly we are. There's, the trolling motor scenarios, quite a lot of people out fishing using trolling motors position. Lithium blue is a deep cycle replacement battery. It fits that profile for that type of parameter and for fitting in the space there. So we work with that. Interestingly, we have two ways we can approach that. There's the more traditional installing 12-volt batteries in series. And charging each one by a single channel. So they have multi-channel chargers for that application. If the profile for lithium can be used, they can be set up in that series up to 48 volts in series for that. But we also offer batteries that are actually 24 volts and 36 volts at terminal. That's a little different than the traditional LEDs. So the advantage there is getting more density, higher energy density in the same spot. And also you can parallels up for the capacity, and you won't have the same issues at balancing between the batteries if you go all 36 volt batteries in parallel, then rather than doing 12 volt in series to get there. So balancing is more complicated in single batteries in series versus one battery at nominal voltage. So there's an advantage to that, and that lithium can do that. And there we have batteries that are offered at that voltage.
Well, since you brought that up, we've discussed a project where I'm currently running on my 25-foot bay boat. I'm running a 36 volt trolling motor. Now we've talked about swapping out the 3 AGM batteries that run the trolling motor for two 36 volt batteries. Talk to me about the kind of advantages one could expect if they were making that kind of a revision to their boat.
If you're putting two 26 volts in, you're going to replace 3 12 volts. So immediately the footprint's going to be a bit smaller space. but you're going to find that you have more accessible energy. You would be accessible only, say, 50% of each one of those 12 volts batteries there. But with the two lithium blue in there at 36, you get 100% of that. That's about 25% more capacity just there and available to you by going that route. Also moving from a series situation to paralleling at 36 volts, the balancing between the batteries is going to be much better, much truer. You're going to find they'll be out of balance a lot less than would your 312s in series. So that's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different installation for you, but I don't think it'll be any problem to make the switch, and there'll be some advantages for you there.
I want to talk about the economy of lithium versus traditional cell batteries. Why don't you guys speak to that? Because that's probably more your area of expertise than mine.
Yeah, for sure. So, the total, what we call the total cost of ownership of lithium in the end is much less than lead acid. That's an attractive consumer. It's a little hard to understand that at first because the lithium battery sticker price is a lot more than a lead acid battery. And so you have to understand a bit that with a lithium battery, with our lithium blue battery, you're getting that 100% of the capacity of the batteries available to you versus half of the lead acid. So immediately you would have to double your lead acid purchase to get an equivalent capacity to one lithium. But the lithium lasts so much longer than lead acid. If you look at a lead acid AGM, they're typically rated 400 cycles over their life.
By cycle, you mean charge and recharge?
Yeah, cycle, charge, and recharge. But for a lithium battery, charge and recharge cycles are up 4,000, so 10 times as many. So ultimately, you're going to have to buy 10 sets of lead batteries to equal one set of lithium batteries.
One of the advantages that I see to the lithium battery is that I get 100% output all the way through. If I'm using an AGM and I'm using my trolling motor on spot lock, for instance, that's putting out a lot of power to hold me over a spot, especially if I'm in a certain amount of C's and current. And after an hour of that, the battery just loses its ability to do that, because once you've lost 20% of your power or used 20% of your power, it can't keep up with the current anymore. So
that's an interesting observation. Let me give you a little explanation of why that is. A lithium ion battery is a higher voltage to start with than a lead acid battery. Typically, we're nominal around 13.8 volts versus something in the lower 12s for lead acid there. But lithium ion holds that voltage much longer. The slope, as it declines or as energy is consumed, is very low compared to lead acid. So it holds the voltage a much longer period. At the end, the drop off is quite sudden. Like when you get to the end of a usable capacity, usable energy, the voltage drops, but it's much slower on that. So you get that nice firm hold up over a period of time. That also brings some interesting challenges and advantages to lithium. Because it's like that, it would be hard to monitor using an external device to monitor state of charge. But it offers a very predictable state of charge because of the digital capacity or capability of the BMS in that battery. And you can see and you can read that information. You can get very precise state of charge information off of a lithium ion battery using digital BMS. We have a Bluetooth app that provides that to users' phone or iPad or something like that. So it's very easy for them to see the state of charge of every battery, each battery that they have. Very simple compared to what, and get that long hold up and strong power right to the end of the usable capacity.
how does it talk to the battery? Is it Bluetooth or Wi-Fi?
Yeah, Bluetooth. It's using the Bluetooth technology, so it's paired with each battery in there, and you go through however many batteries you have on your boat. There you look at each one and provide state of charge, which is the most important piece of information anybody wants. Is very accurate because it's all digital. The digital BMS, the battery management system, tracks all that information. It will also provide diagnostic information for the technical person who needs to do some troubleshooting or something. Have a look at it. So it's actually very sophisticated, but very easy and simple to understand application.
One of the ways that you add performance to any boat is to take out weight. And when you're taking out 3 AGM batteries that basically are going to weigh 75 pounds a piece, you're basically taking out one great big guy.
Yeah.
And in our tests, Kevin and I run them on all kinds of boats all the time. You take out a man and you usually gain a mile an hour. So you're adding performance to your boat by reducing weight. Would I be correct in saying that?
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the great things about lithium batteries. Twice the amount of available energy at half the weight. Just try picking one up. I mean, it's quite an amazing difference. If you've ever lifted lead battery and then get a lithium battery, pick it up. It's incredibly lighter. It's a surprising. It's a great kind of thing. We even put a handle on our battery to make it even easier. Like it's just. They're designed to be moved around. It's great for boaters, for trailer weights. It's great to reduce your trailer weight a little bit too. If your boat's trailered with a lighter weight battery, weight can be great.
Randy, in a larger boat, cruising boat, larger sport fishing boat, the house bank of lead acid batteries is extremely heavy. As a former boatyard worker, as a kid crawling in a bilge, pulling out all those golf cart batteries out of a 40-footer, man, that's some work. You can look at it 2 ways. Your batteries are 100% usable, lithium ion, 100% discharge. So for the same footprint, I get double the power. Or I can have half the footprint and the same power.
Right.
Which means about half the weight, or even
less than half the weight. And
am I correct in that assessment? Is that a correct way to put it?
Absolutely. It's if you use the same footprint as your lead, you're getting double the capacity at half the weight. But if you want to maintain the same capacity, you're probably even less than half the weight, and you might even gain some space back on your boat you can use to store something else.
Keep the footprint and double my capacity. Can I do away with a generator? I mean, I know some boat companies are actually offering this. No more generator. They're offering. I don't know the systems yet. I'm not that conversant in it. Is that an option? Is that something you're pushing?
I wouldn't abandon my generator, but you can sure expect to use it a lot less. One of the advantages we talked about earlier there was the fast rate at which the lithium battery will charge, and getting it charged in 1 hour. That's going to utilize any generator runtime, for example, or time you're plugged into shore power. That's 1 hour. If you were looking at a lead, it would be 3 to 5 times as long to replace the energy. And so you would have to run that generator, pay for the fuel, etc., or be plugged in, stuck at home, waiting for it to charge up. That's one of the advantages, faster charger. I think that there are advantages to having a generator around. Maybe you need a smaller one, and you're certainly going to use it a lot less. That part we can tell you, to expect.
That would actually be nice to be able to pop in a smaller generator, burn less fuel on it, and
it costs less to buy.
Costs less to buy, less weight, less of many things that you didn't want.
It's like a whole design spiral thing. Because you need less, you can go less fuel, smaller generator, less money. It's like dominoes in a positive way. One of the things that degrades a marine battery or battery in marine service is vibration. Unlike a land vehicle, there are no shock absorbers. Every time my boat comes off a wave, the internals of that battery is taking a shock. As good a riding a boat as you or I may have. Is lithium better, worse, or about the same with regards to degradation due to vibration as a lead acid battery?
I would say for a top quality lithium battery, and I put ours in that category, it's no problem. We use a cell structure in there, and we have what we call a cradle in there. There's no room for movement on that. That battery is going to do better in vibration than with many lead acids on there. but be careful. Like looking at other lithium batteries out there, I've seen some horribly constructed ones that use tape to hold the cells in position and things like that. That would not be a good choice for a boater. So pay attention to the quality of the construction of the lithium battery, and from our battery, the lithium blue battery, I can assure you it's the best cradling system and best packing that you're going to find out there.
One thing we've seen a lot in competitive product is they've actually taken a traditional battery casing and have actually put the lithium cells inside of an already designed and developed case, where we've actually designed and developed the case around the cells. So it's actually made specifically for the lithium cells. Just happens that we're able to make it in the case formats that would replace a lead acid battery very easily of the same size. But that's a real differentiator with how we've manufactured our battery over what we've seen when we've torn apart some competitor lithium batteries.
Well, that kind of efficiency in manufacturing has to come from quite a bit of experience. Let's talk about that. You guys probably have more engineering capacity in this arena than most anybody we've spoken to as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, listen, as far as the marine space is concerned, we've been in that business for some time. We make all kinds of different batteries for different purposes. So, a gasoline starting or a dual purpose battery, batteries for diesel engines and dual purpose, house bank batteries, as we can understand, as well as, batteries for trolling motors. The majority of our business, in fact, has been in the lead acid space. So, we've talked a lot about lithium, and we're talking about lithium here specifically today, but it should be noted that, we are a lead acid battery manufacturer as well. And we've got, a line that we call our mixed tech battery that is really a starting and dual purpose battery. It's actually a patented and award-winning design battery that uses the natural motion of your vessel to mix the acid inside the battery, which actually prolongs the battery's life and prevents acid stratification, which is the number one cause of a battery dying over time. We do make a dry cell AGM battery. So we do have those as well, and we've mentioned the gel settings. We do make a gel battery as well, and of course, lithium is not new to us. As we've mentioned, we've been in the energy storage space and solar with lithium for over 10 years now, and so none of that's new to us. And we've been really manufacturing since the battery since the mid '90s. So we've got lots of experience, lots of know-how. We've got a brilliant engineering team that's designed and developed all of our lithium battery technologies, and as Derek has mentioned, our battery management system. So lots and lots of history there.
How's the electronic brain fit in the battery? Is that a module that can be replaced, or?
Interesting. It can be. Let's hope it's not. We have got an additional feature built into our battery. We have a small fuse that it's attached to the positive post of the battery that protects the BMS inside. That little fuse is replaceable. It's very inexpensive compared to the BMS underneath the lid of the battery. Much more expensive device to replace or take care of. So there's a fuse on that. But the board is underneath the top. It's a high current design, lots of metal involved in that, solid state fuses and FETs in that for switching. It does have a mechanical relay in it. All of it's very, very robustly designed, very suitable for a marine high vibration environment. BMS design is really what we focus and put a lot of energy into a Discover battery.
Now, much of the conversation that I've heard with respect to electric propulsion in both marine and automotive is regarding safety. How do you guys address that question?
Well, that's obviously a very important question to any consumer safety. People have heard a lot of things about lithium batteries, but the technology has matured greatly, and specifically, we've made design choices to maximize the safety of our batteries. In particular, we've chosen lithium iron phosphate cells as the cells to use it because they're the safest lithium technology out there. There's many different types of cells. Lithium iron phosphate are quite different than the cells used in automobile battery packs and electric vehicles and so on. So the energy capacity, et cetera, on that is slightly different and much safer environment. We also design that BMS that manages the battery, and it manages the safety around that, disconnecting the battery, preventing it from being overcharged, et cetera, on that really helps a lot on the battery. We're fortunate we don't have events around our batteries, etc. So we consider them to be very safe for a consumer. We wouldn't go into a consumer market if we didn't think these batteries were safe for use.
One of the marks of quality is longevity, and one of the measurements of longevity is the terms of your warranty. Where can we find the warranty on your batteries?
Hey, that's a very interesting connection. That's a question, and also, something that we do a little different than other battery suppliers on there. So the actual warranty is posted on our website. Please have a look on that. No, there's nothing to hide there. But what I'll tell you about it that is different, we have a full replacement a portion of the warranty, so we'll replace the battery. It's not prorated as is often found in the lead acid world. We replace that battery, under the period of time. But more importantly, we guarantee the performance. I don't know too many devices out there that come with a performance guarantee, but we're able to do that and say that there's so much energy throughput represented by the sum of charge and discharge through the battery. We can measure that because we have a digital BMS in there, so we know that. The consumer will be fully informed as to how much energy they put through their battery, etc. So they know it's going to work and do what a battery is supposed to do. That's quite a bit different than the other guys out there offering, prorated replacements or number of cycles, and how do people count all that? We actually have a digital number you can measure, and there's a guarantee around how much energy is going to go through that battery.
In fact, I think just to add to that, Derek, is as far as we're aware, we're the only battery manufacturer with that type of a performance guarantee on their lithium batteries. So that makes us very unique.
Well, I'm looking forward to my test of the batteries and reporting on the results of that, especially now after all the things we've learned here today. I appreciate you guys coming out.
Thanks, Randy and Kevin. We really appreciate being here today and being able to talk about our battery and obviously the ins and outs of why a lithium battery over a lead acid. So thanks for the opportunity. We obviously are thankful to be here and happy to answer anything else if there's anything further in the future.
I think we can close. So, Derek Pettingale, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Discover Batteries, for sharing your knowledge of lithium-ion batteries with our audience here today. Please be sure to check out their website at discoverbatteries.com. You can look for that information in the comments section below. Also, check out boatingmag.com. And remember to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, for Boating Roundtable with Randy Vance, I'm Kevin Falvey.